We need more white guys giving their insight on things they don't understand. They're like, Mom! You got the Iron!
I recently rewatched the first Avatar.
How did it hold up?
It doesn't. Hello.
Heyo. What up?
Sometimes I try to think of like creative ways to open up an episode, and sometimes it just doesn't come to me.
That's okay. Sometimes you just got to get right into it.
Let's just jump right into it, man.
What's on the agenda today?
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Yeah. It was my idea. I can introduce it.
Yeah.
So we're finalizing our revisions of our top 10 favorite movies of all time, with the exclusion of Lord of the Rings for variety's sake.
Yes.
And I still have a couple more things I want to rewatch. I'm really trying to solidify it to be as concrete as possible. It's very hard. But in between, we figured we'd just do a quicker, probably shorter episode about Gorillaz. They put out Cracker Island, and we've done a big Gorillaz episode, so we'd be like, let's do a follow-up on their new album, see how we're feeling about it, and before then, maybe just do a quick media catch-up on things we've been kind of reading / playing / watching.
Or wanting
to, etc. So
Yeah.
things we're looking forward to this year, or whatever. Just a vague little kind of roundup on things we're doing / looking forward to. And then we're going to chit-chat about Cracker Island.
Yeah.
Just gives us a little interlude while we finalize our top 10s. So.
Yeah, because we just got done recording our additional commentary to our last episode, which will come out before this one, and we thought probably not going to be able to finish doing a whole episode of our top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So we'll just do something a little simpler. And it kind of reminds me, I think it harkens back to the early days of our podcast, because for most of the existence of this podcast, we like to pick specific things to talk about. But our first couple episodes, we kind of talked about like a bunch of stuff. Like we talked about Midsummer, and we talked about Quentin Tarantino movies, and the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was out at that time, and also you went on a huge rant about Blade Runner. So
surprise.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Cracker Island, but also just kind of give some time to talk about other random things.
Yeah.
So if you're here to listen to our conversation about Cracker Island, the new album from Gorillaz, you can skip ahead if you want.
It'll be after our commercial break.
Yeah, pretty much. Did have just a tiny bit of housekeeping to do. This is really only going to take a minute.
Little dusting of the shelves.
Yeah. Our most recent episode, we talked about that is out at this time. We talked about our favorite movies from last year, and I asked everyone what were some of your favorite movies of 2022. Only Nick Gundy responded. So we're going to go through his little short list. Oh, you're going to find this interesting, Mitchell.
Yeah.
His number one was Terrifier 2.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Nick. I don't remember if I hated on that movie in the episode or not.
I think you briefly mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You specifically said, and Terrifier 2 just made me not want to watch movies again.
I get why people are they're not for me. That's all I'll say.
There is
but I don't hate on people that like him.
No,
I get it.
You just respect. I mean, he already knows your opinion.
Yeah,
you already said
I'm just
it.
a wuss.
Yeah.
It's too much for me.
I've never seen either Terrifier 1 or Terrifier 2. It doesn't really seem like my thing. But his number 2 was The Batman.
Nice.
So
I agree with that.
That was your number 1. And then his number 3 was The Northman, which was my number 1.
Yeah.
And then his number 4 was All Quiet on the Western Front. I
need to watch that.
I haven't seen it.
I only know about it because of Oscar nominations, basically.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw it when it came out, and I've been wanting to see the original first. I heard the original is like a classic.
Right.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to watch that first, and then eventually I'll get to it. But a lot of people like it. And then his number 5 was Strawberry Mansion. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
Good job, Nick. You're more of a hipster than we are.
Curious.
I'll have to check it out if it's on your top 5. And then his number 6 is Morbius. Ah ha 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 ha.
So good.
Was that even? I don't think that was that literally last year.
I think so. Yeah.
Morbius. That's crazy. I feel like that was like 2 years ago somehow, but
yeah,
cool. But obviously that was a joke. No one likes Morbius.
It's impossible.
I don't think anyone does, but yeah. Thoughts about that, Mitchell?
Good list. I appreciate your perspective.
Good job, Nick Gundy.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll just take this time to remind everyone that the Podwood Forecast community group is on Facebook, and you can join. And just a reminder to everyone, you don't have to really wait for me to post anything to say anything. Feel the whole group is free game. You're like, hey, I think that the Podwood Forecast guys would be interested in this. Just go ahead and freaking put it on the community group. Also, I'll open it up to questions as well, to like Q&A. If you guys have some questions that you'd like for us to talk about on the show,
yes,
we'll do it if we feel like that it's appropriate enough.
Maybe we should do. I mean, if we can get enough, maybe we should do Q&A every episode.
A Q&A every episode?
Yeah, maybe we can include that like the beginning or something.
Do like questions, do like a question thread or whatever.
It'd be cool.
Like Sardonicast.
Yeah, similar thing.
We could. I mean, I guess I could start.
I like being asked questions.
Me too. It gives us the opportunity to talk about things that we probably wouldn't think to talk about.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll start doing that. I guess I've thought of that, but never thought like if people would actually be interested enough to ask us. But maybe that'll be the new thing. I'll start doing that. I'll post a question thread post, and you guys can just ask us whatever. Doesn't even have to do with anything that we usually talk about. You can ask us, what's your favorite kind of cheese?
Literally
something.
anything.
Yeah, literally. What's our... I just so not appropriate.
What's your shoe size?
I was gonna say, what's your body count?
Oh my god.
No, we're not gonna. No.
Horrible.
Don't ask us stuff like that.
10,000.
Oh wow. And you're like taking it literally, like I've killed 10,000 people.
Yeah.
In the war.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's our little housekeeping segment. What was it that we were gonna talk about?
Just things we've been doing lately. Things we're like in terms of media.
Yeah.
Media we're looking forward to. I can start real quick.
Sure.
Been doing a lot. I haven't really been watching a ton of movies this year so far. I need to kind of catch up on. I just haven't been watching a lot. I saw like Knock at the Cabin, which I liked, Shock, and but yeah, I haven't really watched a lot of like. There's not a lot of new releases. I've been rewatching some stuff from my top 10 list, which I've been enjoying. But I'm in kind of a flop with like regularly watching movies right now. But I'm playing a lot of video games. And I've been replaying Breath of the Wild because I'm getting really excited for Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's coming out in May. It's only a couple months. I'm super excited.
It's so soon.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. So I've been replaying some Zelda
Even
games.
though it's been like forever since they announced it.
It's been like almost like 7 years, I think. 6 years. It's been a while.
So crazy.
I think Breath of the Wild came out in like 2017.
Breath of the Wild still feels new.
I know.
To me. Same for Red Dead 2. Like those games came out around the same time.
They were the same year, I think.
But they still feel like so new and recent, you know.
Yeah, especially Breath of the Wild it's stayed in conversation like consistently.
Yeah.
Like probably like Elden Ring will, you know. But
yeah,
I'm replaying again and it's still so fun. Like I'm just really excited for that sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been replaying that and Twilight Princess. I'm just in a big Zelda phase, but I'm also I got a game called Ori and the Will of the Wisps for like $5. It's like an indie game, has insanely beautiful art style. It's kind of a Metroid-y type game.
Ori,
O-R-I.
Oh, that's the name of a dwarf in The Hobbit.
Yeah, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It's a sequel to
Ori
the first
and Nori.
one. But it's super beautiful art style. It's really cool so far. I haven't played much of it, but I got that. And Yeah. So
Okay.
I've just been like playing Zelda mostly. I'm super excited. Yeah, just excited for the next one. And then in terms of books, I'm kind of going through a book phase. I haven't like fully started reading.
One of these
yet.
days, we're gonna have a book episode.
Yeah. Some stuff I purchased recently. I'm trying to get into Thomas Pynchon. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Pynchon.
Okay.
Pynchon. Hopefully, I don't know. But
sorry, Thomas.
He wrote stuff such as The Crying of Lot 49 and Gravity's Rainbow, which I've heard Gravity's Rainbow is a very challenging read, and that's why I wanted to read it. Because it just seemed really interesting. It's from like... It's a pretty old book, I think. But yeah, so I got The Crying of Lot 49. I want to read that before I go into that so I get a sense of his style.
Yeah.
But he just seems like I've just heard a lot of interesting things about his writing and just really want to get into him.
And it's fictional?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like historical fiction.
Nice.
Gravity's Rainbow, at least.
Okay.
Couple other things I got The Stranger by Albert Camus. That was just a random suggestion. I don't really know anything about it.
There's a stranger.
I've just been kind of going out on a limb and just buying stuff that people have suggested to me that sounds cool. And then another author I've been really interested in, he's very much in the sci-fi like genre.
Right.
Kind of like alongside like Philip K. Dick type of sci-fi stuff, but like William Gibson. There's a book called Neuromancer I got, which a lot of these I got interested in because there's a YouTube channel I got really into called Action Button by a fellow named Tim Rogers. Makes these horrifically long videos, but he segments them. He can kind of mini series them out, but they're really, really good videos. And he's entertaining and funny, but just the way he speaks and like talks about things is so interesting. And it's not just like this game is well designed because of this. Like he'll go into like a tirade about like his childhood and his personal relation with like the game, and then like delve into like it's just like very cool. It's almost like a documentary of his experience with something. Goes into like design. He's very like well read. Like uses very strong like literary prose when he talks. This is a very strange guy. But he mentioned a lot of these books in some of his videos. He did a video on cyberpunk, and he went over like the whole cyberpunk as a genre and talked about obviously Blade Runner and like Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, and went into a lot of detail about William Gibson books, and that kind of inspired me to want to get into his stuff because it sounds super cool. So that's why I got Neuromancer.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking into reading The Stranger, which is super short. The Crying of Lot 49, Neuromancer, and Gravity's Rainbow. And it's probably going to take me 5 years to read all of them. But in terms of stuff I've actually read, like lately, like in terms of finishing it, I finished Dune a while ago, and it was really, really, really good. And I want to read the sequels.
Just the book? Oh, okay. The first book.
Yeah, the first book. There's a ton of sequels, and I'm interested to see what they're like. But the first book is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like I want to say it's like an easy read, but it's not like incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
It's a very like engaging read. Super cool.
I think I would want to read it sometime, but I think I would prefer to watch the next movie first. I was hesitant because of that reason, but I'm feeling like I'm glad I read it. Sure, yeah. I just feel like I've gotten invested in the movie first, that I kind of want that surprise when I watch the second one.
Yeah.
And then if I want to, I'll go back to the book sometime. But yeah, like you, I'm a bit of a slow reader.
Yeah. That's why I got a lot of books that are like less than 200 pages.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get stuff that's a pretty quick read.
Yeah.
And I'm really intimidated by Gravity's Rainbow because I started reading it. I got a couple chapters in, and someone's like, "You should really read like this first." Because I was like, I'm like reading this thing, and it's a description of like this horrific war field and like these bombs dropping, and this guy like in this he's like surviving like in this war zone, or he's like in this building or something. Yeah. People who have read this book probably are like, dude, you're describing it completely wrong. And then like out of nowhere, like the next page, he's like talking about like his banana farm and all these bananas he's growing, and there's like a
bananas,
and there's like a fart joke, and a guy like slips and falls on a banana peel, and it's like I'm like, whoa, what is happening? It's very bizarre, but I was like, this is really weird.
It's probably on drugs. I feel like I'm when he reading wrote it.
Like it exudes like trippy, weird energy to me.
Nice.
And I can see why some people say it's almost like incomprehensible, but I'm so attracted to that.
Yeah.
Because I've never like really read anything that's like Under the Silver Lake, for example. It's like, what is really happening? But you think about it seems like a very literary version of like, you really have to like decipher what the heck is happening.
Yeah. You know? I rewatched that recently. I love that movie.
Also Inherent Vice. Because same author.
Okay.
Wrote the book, and I don't own it, but I want to read that too.
Oh, okay.
Because I heard the book is like really good. So
you read the book and like see how different it is from the movie.
Yeah. So I'm really curious to read that. Yeah. So at Gravity's Rainbow and Crying Lot 49, that guy, he also wrote Inherent Vice. So
nice.
That makes me want to read that and then rewatch Inherent Vice, because I feel like I would probably end up liking it a lot more because I think about it. Because my first viewing with Inherent Vice was like, I didn't really get like what was happening.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that feeling now. I'm like, I feel like I might have a different perspective if I rewatch that.
Right.
But I would like to read the book. So yeah, Thomas Pynchon is just an author I'm generally trying to get into now. So
yeah. Okay.
That's my schedule.
Cool. Well, funny enough, I don't really have any video games to talk about except I'm currently going through Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Kind of with the goal to like be able to talk about it on the podcast sometime.
Yeah. He's a guide if you have to. No shame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like experiencing it for myself.
For sure.
That might be.
It's if you really get stuck though, like it's definitely part of the experience.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to have you over sometime, and
I can coach you through it.
Blaze through it, you know. But that'll probably, like, once we do our top 10 films, that'll probably be what my suggestion is.
Yeah.
So I'm going through that. I've been kind of considering going through Red Dead 2 again.
Nice.
Just because I'm just in that mood. I've been kind of in a rut lately financially, but, like, pretty soon I'm going to start making money again. And so, like, I'll have, like, expendable money, you know. And like I want to get my own copy of Elden Ring. I'd love to play that.
Yeah.
And
it's so good.
Yeah. I also want to try out Hogwarts Legacy. Seems like a lot of fun.
That's fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't mention that. You should have mentioned that.
Yeah, I forgot to. I haven't been playing. I got distracted with Zelda. I haven't even beat it.
Oh, okay.
It's good though. It's fun.
Nice. Yeah. I want to get around to that. Mm-hmm. Books also. Not too long ago, my recommendation was this book called Chaos, which is about the Charles Manson trials and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still reading it because I'm such a slow reader.
Yeah, I'm really bad at reading.
But it's a good book, and so that's what I'm getting into lately. And I have a bunch of new books that I've yet to get into. I've been getting into mostly nonfiction lately, which is crazy because I feel like when I was younger it was all fiction.
Yeah, there's a lot of nonfiction, like even some like memoirs I just want to read.
Yeah,
like Jeanette McCurdy has one I really want to read. I was even curious about the Bob Odenkirk one, but I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know he had a book.
Yeah, it's called Comedy
nice.
Drama.
Oh wait, yeah, actually, I think you did mention that. Mm-hmm. I've had this Phil Collins memoir on my shelf for a while.
Yeah.
It's called Not Dead Yet.
If I like read a memoir, it has to be about someone I'm interested in. I heard Bryan Cranston has a really good one too, but I always worry about them being really boring. But I don't know.
I've been wanting to read Not Dead Yet by Phil Collins. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
That would be so interesting, like to learn behind the scenes stuff about like Genesis and his solo career and such. One of these days, going along the lines of Chaos with like journalism and such, I have Under the Banner of Heaven, which was most recently as a miniseries with Andrew Garfield.
That's right.
And this is the true story about these killings that were, kind of there were these Mormon, like extreme Mormon fundamentalists that were involved in it. I watched the series. It's a really good series. I recommend it. And I heard that the book is really good. And it's by John John Krakauer. I don't know how to pronounce it,
Those
but
are weird names we can't pronounce.
yeah, I know. It's the same guy who wrote the Into the Wild, the book, not the movie.
Yeah.
I've heard that the book is a lot better than the movie.
Yeah.
So, but he's like a really well-known journalist, and I've heard that Under the Banner of Heaven is really good. So, I'm just really into those like serial killer kind of stuff, I guess. And then I also recently got a copy of a book written by John Cleese.
John Cleese.
Formerly of Monty Python fame and
cool.
Fawlty Towers. He's like one of my favorite people ever. He's so funny, and he's got a book called Creativity, and Creativity, a short and cheerful guide, and it really is like the most simple read.
Yeah.
But yet I still haven't gotten around to
nice.
reading it yet. But I'm really excited because I do love John Cleese. I love his work in Monty Python, and then there's a show that he did called Fawlty Towers that was incredible too. So I'm really excited to check that out. And then I also got Cinema Speculation by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, yeah. Is that his new one he just put out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a new book, and it's basically about his love for movies.
That's cool.
He just talks about, like, each chapter.
Just him, like, geeking out about stuff he likes.
Yeah, each chapter is a particular movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
And they're all, like, I think they're all, like, specifically movies from the 70s.
Okay.
I think.
Is there a list of what movies are in there? I guess that's spoiler, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I think there's, let me see if there's
like
a chapter
examples?
a chapter selection.
So I always am curious what movies he's like inspired by.
Yeah. No chapter selection.
That's fine.
I think there's some Hitchcock films. Sisters from 1973, that's one. I'm just kind of sampling them. Second String Samurai. Oh, wait, no, that's just a chapter. I guess not every chapter is about a movie, but most of them.
Okay.
Most of them are. The Outfit, 1973.
He definitely likes some samurai movies, I'm sure.
Yeah. The Getaway, 1972. These are all movies that I'm not familiar with, but
I've heard of The Getaway.
Yeah. But I'm interested, though. Deliverance.
Oh, yeah.
1972.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's just a book written by a director just geeking out about movies. And honestly, there's no director that I know that really loves movies more than Quentin Tarantino.
True, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I got on my reading list that I'll get around to in the next 10 years or so.
Nice.
I also got, like, the Harry Potter books that I've been wanting to get around to.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, all the stuff I mentioned too are books I've bought or owned at this point. There's still a lot I want to read that I haven't purchased yet, but that's too much to get into. But yeah.
I don't know.
Books. We'll have a book episode someday. It'll be our least viewed episode ever.
Yeah, that would be
someday.
Interesting.
We'll do the Circle series one, but
yeah, we talked about doing the Circle series.
We both just need
Decker.
to be in like the mood to really want to read like 4 books back to back.
I started rereading it a while ago, and then I dropped off.
Yeah,
which was interesting because it's like, man, I don't remember a lot of this.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna feel like reading it for the first time again.
Yeah,
because like I remember the outline of things, but I don't remember a lot of details. So it's gonna be interesting to revisit, see how I feel about it now.
Yeah, I'm just interested how I would edit an episode about a book.
Just the sound of pages turning.
I'll get clips from the audiobook.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea.
So, yeah.
But I think this is kind of random though, but I think there was like an album that was made, like an instrumental album that was supposed to be inspired by the Circle series.
Oh, really?
I think I came across that on YouTube.
But it's like very quietly in the background the whole time.
I think it's like really early 2000s kind of sounding.
Oh, okay.
It's like very Matrix kind of inspired music.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll use that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever we get around to it. I need to read more, but the thing is that I got a lot of time on my hands now.
Yeah.
So I should. I like reading, and I know it's good for me.
Reading good.
Yeah. Good is reading for you. What?
I just have too many. I like want to watch movies, read books, and play games. I'm like
right?
into every media.
I want to watch movies too.
Yeah, most people just watch movies. A lot of people just play. Like, I want to do everything for some reason, and I can't do any of them.
I will say,
I go in phases. I'm like only really like playing games. I'm not really watching a lot of, like I'll watch a lot of movies, but not play a lot of games. And so whenever I start reading books, I have to like not want to play or watch any other movies.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I got the past few months, like starting in like November, I got really burnt out on movies because, and I
kind of did too.
I got burnt out,
last couple months.
It's my fault partly because it was around in October or November. I started on that film scavenger hunt thing, which was fun because I ended up getting introduced to a lot of my new favorite movies now.
Yeah.
One or two of them may or may not have been a 10 out of 10 for me.
Nice.
But then I had that. It was like constantly watching movie after movie every day. And then I felt like that I needed to catch up on movies for my 2022 list. And so I was watching a lot of those. And then we decided we wanted to do this revisiting of our favorite movies of all time. And I'm like, I'm going to rewatch all of them because I want to make sure.
I'm definitely not rewatching all of mine, but I'm rewatching the ones I feel like I'm like not sure if they should be top 10 or not.
Yeah,
know?
I watched all of them. And I watched all of my 10 out of 10 movies just to see where they stood. And and now that I'm done with that, it's like, I don't really feel like watching movies again
you just need
for a little while.
Sometimes I'll have like a phase where I'll watch like maybe 2 movies like in a month, which to some people that's like all they ever do, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, that's like usually not a lot. Like 1 movie a month is like not a lot is like really way lower for me.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, maybe sometime the YouTube, I mean, not YouTube. I can't talk today. The movie scavenger hunt thing was fun. And I'll probably do it again sometime, but not for a while.
Yeah,
you know. So, because basically what it is, it's a letterboxed thing, and they do this every month, where they pick someone who has this whole scavenger list where one movie for every day is like a certain prompt. It's like watch a movie directed by Quentin Tarantino. Watch a movie starring Morgan Freeman. Watch a sci-fi movie that you've been wanting to see. You know, so it's fun like that. So I'd like to do that again. It really makes you go out of your way to watch movies that you've never seen before. So,
right.
And I found a lot of them that I loved. So, but
nice.
Definitely got burnt out though. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Doing stuff like every day would burn me out too, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I was in a habit of at least watching like a couple every week, but I'm at a point where I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I think I only watched like 3 movies last month or something. I'm just like, I don't know. Just on a slow burn right now, giving myself a break.
It's the beginning of the year.
I feel like I always go through this phase every year. Like, I'll have like a couple months where I'm not really watching a lot.
Yeah.
But there was like a few months back, I was like going crazy, like watching a ton of stuff. But now it's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about the beginning of the year kind of does that.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was us talking about random stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
A little media catch up.
Yeah. It was fun. Fun to do that every once in a while. Reminder, you guys can leave questions. Yeah, I'm going to, you know what, starting now, I'm going to put a question thread in the community group. Ask us anything. You want dating advice? We'll give you some.
Here you go.
Very good.
Just go for it.
Whatever it is, just do it, man.
Just call in.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Anyways, we're going to go into a break, and then we're going to talk about our favorite virtual band, Gorillaz, and their latest album, Cracker Island.
It was born.
It was born.
Coming right up after these Cracker Island
crackers
commercials.
All right.
I'd like to talk to you about good things to eat, like Swiss cheese on a crisp Ritz cracker, or a chunk of ham on a crisp Ritz cracker. Mmm. peanut butter and jelly on a crisp Ritz cracker. Everything tastes great when it sits on a Ritz. You hungry? Then have some onion dip on a crisp Ritz cracker. Mmm. Good cracker. Good cracker. From Nabisco.
There will always be a special place in my heart for the movie musical and for the songs that create their most memorable moments. Here to perform the Oscar-nominated, gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen, please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
Worst album ever. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
We're talking about Cracker Island today. I was checking my YouTube subscriptions before this, and I don't know if you've seen the channel like where like this guy and his dad react to albums. It's like dad reacts to, and it's like this guy and his father, they'll like listen to albums and react. And it's actually like a really fun channel. I love how they talk about music. The dad is super cool, and they just put out an episode for Cracker Island like an hour ago.
Oh,
and I'm just like, oh, they're probably gonna like be so happy and like love it because they're always so positive. And I'm like, oh man, I'm glad I'm not watching it before this because it'll probably like make me feel like I need to watch it or something. Or
you watch it.
I need to like it, but
do they usually like Gorillaz stuff? Do you know?
They haven't done Gorillaz on the channel, but they did one for they did one for Paramore's new album recently. But they did some like other like rap artists. They kind of just do like anything. It's cool.
Yeah,
but, it's very enjoyable content. Like, it's super cool. I really like it.
Very wholesome.
Yeah.
But how old is the son?
He's like, probably like our age.
Okay,
a little younger. Maybe
cool.
He's probably like 25.
Is there anything that they haven't liked that you've seen?
There's been some. I've never seen them be like, this was horrible, but they're usually just like, it was like not really doing much for me, you know? Like they've had stuff like that for sure. Yeah. But
sorry, I keep burping. We just had McDonald's.
Curious what they'll think of this actually.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting conversation. And like we said, this wasn't planned.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna be like the longest. It's probably gonna be a very like brief episode, but
yeah.
On Cracker Island, it was born to the collective of the dawn. They were planting seeds at night to grow a made-up paradise where the truth was not attuned. Sadness I consumed into my formats every day. In the end I had to pay. In the end I had to pay.
Yeah, Cracker Island. I guess for some build up to it, I mean, we've done our whole Gorillaz episode. We don't need to recount like our favorite Gorillaz album or anything.
Yeah, and we've talked about Gorillaz multiple different times.
Yeah,
Song Machine was both. I'm pretty sure it was both our number ones for that year. And if
it wasn't my number one, it was like up there somewhere. It was one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah. And we even on the Lost episode we talked about Humans for a long time.
Yeah.
And
like Humans was interesting. I feel like it's at least interesting to circle back to Humans because Humans, when that was coming out, it felt like a big event, right?
Yeah.
Like it was like they're back and they're doing like these big like radio, like you have to tune into this radio station.
Tune into BBC
They're gonna
One.
debut the single and and they're releasing new art and all the new artwork and the new character designs and the art, like album art, and it just felt like exciting.
Yeah.
And I was really hyped on that album when it came out, but
we both were.
We were very recency biased, and and I ended up really shrinking on it. And even that year, I was like, it was disappointing. But I still stand by like I think quite a few songs in it, and the singles are
like a handful of songs.
Yeah,
that are okay.
Singles were great. I still really love Charger. Like Andromeda's pretty good. The one with the first single they put out for it, what was it called?
Hallelujah Money.
I remember.
Never mind.
That was the first single. I don't like that one. The second one.
Saturn's Bars.
Yeah, Saturn's Bars is great.
I'm
still.
a mistaken bar. I got debts. It's very catchy. I really do like it.
There's still quite a few songs on that album I go back to. I'm like, yeah, that like it feels like Gorillaz. But overall, it's a very messy album, very unfocused, wastes a lot of features.
Yeah.
But to me, I look back at it in hindsight with like we had 3 more albums since. The album has an identity, like a very strong identity, like it or not. It does have like a, when I think of Humans, I think of certain songs. I think of like a visual aesthetic.
Yeah, and
I think of like
sounds.
Certain sounds, not just one sound, but like with Demon Days, you have like a vibe over Demon Days. And there was a vibe over Humans.
Yeah.
Even though I think the quality of the songwriting and production was not as good, it had that feeling of like a new Gorillaz phase, new Gorillaz album.
Yeah.
Then the Now came out, and it kind of felt like a spin-off. It was whatever. I think it's fine.
I was hyped. I remember being hyped for the Now because what was the first song that came out? The one with Jack Black.
It was the debut. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the first track came out, and like I remember thinking like, oh, this is Gorillaz coming back to form.
It's pretty good. I still think that song's like the drums, the percussion on that song still ruins it for me, kind of.
Yeah, well,
it's
I'm not hot about it now, and like once the album came out, I'm like, I'm not really feeling it. Is the only song with like
guitar on it?
Yeah.
But there's
so I didn't like the Now. I know you defend it a lot more than
a little bit. I think it's a guilty pleasure. I would rather listen to that than Humans, like through all of it. You know? I think Humans has better highs.
Yeah.
But if I had to listen through a whole album, I would enjoy the Now more.
Yeah.
Because that song's like, the first one's fine. I think Kansas is cool. Like Hollywood. I think like Sukai is cool. There's a few.
Hollywood is all right.
Yeah. There's Fireflies. I still like that one.
Yeah.
I'm like, it has some cool vibey stuff, but it's like one sound. And that's what was disappointing to me about it. It had like 2 features. It felt like a spinoff. It didn't really feel like a new phase.
It also kind of felt like it was trying to overcorrect what Humans did.
Yeah.
Because people were complaining,
features.
There's too many features. And Damon Albarn was like, all right, we won't have hardly any features.
So they overcorrected.
There's not enough features.
Yeah, they overcorrected. And then Song Machine, they like wielded that overcorrection back a bit and landed a perfect balance.
Yeah, Song Machine
was like, this
great.
is like good, and Song Machine was like fantastic, and that also felt like a big new phase. Like now feels like something in the tiers of like The Fall or D-Sides, where it's like it's technically a new album, but it doesn't feel like a new phase. Like it's like you have your like your main albums and like your spin-offs, which I know that I don't think they classify any of their albums as a spin-off, but to me, like now radiates spin-off energy.
Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't really feel like an official album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Song Machine at the end of the day feels like a new like official phase.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And then
yeah, we talked about it in what year was that? Was that 2021?
Probably.
I think it was in our 2021 list.
Something like that, yeah.
So you can hear us talk about it there.
And then Cracker Island is probably the most, just to get to the present time, I think the build up to Cracker Island and the initial like, oh, it's out now is the most like, I don't know, underwhelming experience I've had with a Gorillaz album.
Yeah.
The build up to it wasn't really exciting, but the first single was like, oh, there's a new Gorillaz song. I listened to it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think the difference is because now we've had like 3 other albums. You know, it's not like, oh, Gorillaz have been gone for so long. It's like now we have like we almost have like too much now.
Yeah, it's not like the good. Well, I say the good old days. They don't have to be the good old days, but you know, like the time of Demon Days, self-titled, and Plastic Beach. They had a few years in between them. You know.
Yeah, Gorillaz albums felt like events.
Yeah.
And Humans, even though it was disappointing, was still an event, and it's a very memorable event for me still.
Yeah,
and
as bad as the album is, it was still eventful.
And I remember the Now still feeling like relatively exciting or like interesting because it was the only.
It felt like that was going to be better than Humans, possibly.
Yeah, it was like, oh man,
which it was only a little better for me.
Yeah, exactly. And then Song Machine was like another event because they were doing the whole concept of a song a month, and you get a music video for each one,
and that made it very unique.
You get a new art, a new piece of cool artwork, a new music video, and a new song each month. It was very cool.
And on top of that, the songs were good.
Yeah, like almost all the songs were great.
Yeah,
you know, like it's a fantastic album, like from start to finish, with the exception of like one song I don't care for, but it was really good. But this one was the most like normal standard release cycle of a Gorillaz album ever. Like it felt very uninspired.
It kind of felt like they just kind of farted it out.
It was just like,
there were some singles leading up to it, but it's like, it's underwhelming.
There was like a couple, it was a very normal, like every band, it's like, here's a single, here's one more single, maybe a third one, and then here's the album.
Yeah.
And like maybe a music video. It was the most like standard, like, just like, here it is. It didn't feel like it was being hyped up. Like the discussion around it, like I wasn't like I remember when Humans and Now and like Song Machine, I would at least like, ooh, what's the subreddit saying? Or I'm curious what the community was thinking. And with this one, I did not even bother. I was like, I just don't really care. Like, it just doesn't. First single, I was like, this is a fun bop. I like it, which was the title track.
Yeah.
And then like the other singles, I was like, it's okay. And the album came out, and I just listened to it and was like, whatever. And I mean, there's my thoughts on the album. Like it's fine. It just feels like another Now.
I will say, I think I like it better than you do, but also when you suggested that we do this, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it, because like there's not. I had to like refresh myself.
Talking about the reaction to it is more interesting than the songs.
Yeah, I've been listening to more particular songs from the album rather than the whole album lately.
There's like 2 songs. There's like maybe at most 3 songs
let's,
I would listen to.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to talk about things that I do like about. I like the album. I think it's better than the Now, but it's worse than Song Machine. Because I guess my official ranking is like, Demon
Honestly,
Days,
Song Machine's kind of a high bar for me at this point.
Well, yeah, but I think it would be like Demon Days and Plastic Beach are almost tied for me, but I think Demon Days is my favorite.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
fair.
And then I think that Song Machine and Self-Titled are almost tied as well.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom we have Humans and then Now, and I think the Cracker Island is like smack in the middle of those for me.
Mine's pretty similar.
And I'm not counting The Fall.
I think I've gotten to a point where I could definitively say that like Plastic Beach is my favorite.
There are moments where I think that it actually is my favorite.
That
but then
it's easy to bounce between that and Demon Days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of remember that there are some tracks in Plastic Beach that I don't care for. But But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But
yeah, it's like, I think for me it's like Plastic Beach and then Demon Days. If we're including D-sides in this, I might like D-sides more than their debut, which might be a weird take. I don't know. Maybe they're tied. I'll tie them because that feels like a weird hot take. But I do listen to D-sides quite a bit.
Yeah.
At least some songs. But
yeah,
I would tie it.
I'm a little bit more.
I like D-sides a lot.
Yeah. But Cracker Island, I'm just a little bit more than mid about. There's a good handful of songs that I enjoy. I like Cracker Island. I really like Oil, which is a feature with Stevie Nicks. Silent Running is good. I like I like New Gold with Tame Impala. I think it has kind of. There's some things about it that remind me of Dirty Harry from Demon Days.
Kind of. I will say, just like on a rebuttal, I was really, really excited when I saw that they released a song featuring Tame Impala, because I always thought that Tame Impala would be such a good feature
I think a lot
artist.
of people have been asking for that.
It's way more disappointing to me than the St. Vincent feature, because I think Chalk Tablet Towers, whatever it was called, with St. Vincent. Yeah. I love St. Vincent, but I felt like that was one of the weaker songs on that. And to me, like I felt like this was such a waste of a Tame Impala feature. I think it's such a like fine song, but it's, even if you compare it to Tame Impala's discography, it would be such a mid like Tame Impala song.
But in the magical, there's a pretty one. I ask her where it goes, 'cause every day when I wonder if she knows that we're underwater. That's the way it goes in the city.
Move to the spot, I want a review. A whole lot of everything but nothing to do. To the inner Tesla, partner, ex-wrestler. He dates Francesca, they on the Xannies. Liposuction, skin programming. She wants to say some add to her Manny girls trip. Miami at the end of the year. Polluted sky, trying to think clear. I heard the bad news while I was shedding a beer. Watch out from the coast, Paul Revere. We all play a part in
I think it's fine. I'm not like
it's okay.
I'm not huge
not
into
bad.
Tame Impala, but this is like it sounds like one of the Tame Impala songs that I would like get into. I think it's fine. I was jamming it for a good long while.
It's good for
when
like
it
a
came
listener
out.
too, but I'm just I don't know.
Well, you're wrong.
It's like fine to me now, but
Yeah.
not hot on it.
Baby Queen is fine. Tarantula is fine. We were talking about this earlier, but Tormenta is awful.
It's not even
and it's upsetting because you go to their Spotify and it's like their #1 song now.
Really?
And it's just it's just because Bad Bunny is.
Oh,
in
it is. You're right.
Yeah.
Wow. Even New Gold has like way more plays. Actually, that's surprising.
Well, yeah, I think it's just because it's like the
whichever one's
most
being played the
trendiest.
most.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me because Bad Bunny is huge, but it doesn't radiate Gorillaz to me in any way.
Yeah, it doesn't even fit on the album. Really.
Yeah, stylistically, that's the thing. This album is like one sound, and then there's like this song, and it just feels out of place. I don't really like Bad Bunny. Like,
yeah,
I'm not hating on him, like, or people that do.
Stop
obviously,
hating on
but
him.
it's just that kind of top 40 sound that is just like I would not think twice if I heard it in public.
Ey, ey, y aprovechame hoy, que mañana me voy y no sé cuándo vuelvo. Si en tus ojos me pierdo. Y aprovechame hoy, que mañana me voy y no sé cuándo vuelvo. Si en tus ojos me pierdo. Y nadie le pidió, pero estamos aquí.
Yeah, it was kind of like
radiates boring, whatever, like radio hit to me.
It was like Gorillaz for some reason decided they wanted to collab with Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
and then
I just think that's
Bad Bunny just took over the whole production of the song.
Yeah,
and just made it a Bad Bunny song with
They had
Gorillaz.
that one song. What was it called? Dead Butterflies on Song Machine.
Yeah,
and that was like a guest.
Wasn't
producer.
that a bonus track?
No.
Okay.
It was because that also had. Yeah, that was like a guest producer produced that, and I guarantee Damon didn't produce the song. I would be surprised. It doesn't sound like him at all. It just sounds like a Bad Bunny song, which I just find those are the kind of like features I don't like when it doesn't feel like a Gorillaz song at all. It just feels like the guest's like song that would be on one of their albums.
Which kind of is a lot of Humans, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a big problem with Humans for sure.
Too much features taken over.
Yeah, and it's a very bizarre feature choice to me, and the album like doesn't really even have any like I think the Tame Impala song has like a rapper on it, but there's like a severe lack of like rap.
Yeah, Booty Brown is the rapper on New Gold.
It's just a lot of like this kind of psych indie-ish rock pop stuff, and it's a lot of the songs kind of sound similar. They use very similar textures.
Yeah, which I will say, I will give it to this album.
It's consistent.
It is consistent, and I think it's kind of going for what the Now was trying to do, but I think it does it a little better. I think I
texted you this joke, but if the Now was being like really sad at the beach, this album is being sad in like a club.
Yeah,
it's like
I think you had said that the Now is like being at the beach, but you're sad about it.
Yeah, which I probably stole from someone, but I don't remember.
I think you probably took that from Anthony Fantano or something.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but the Cracker Island is trying to go for a consistent sound. It's like trying to be like Song Machine. It sounds like an album, but there was a lot more focus on the individual song. In each on the album, and it worked out.
Yeah, because the concept of that is like every song is like a single,
right? Yeah,
and that's
and this one. It's like this album is going to have this sound. On it.
It feels like a very run of the mill like record for like any artist, nothing about it. Like I think the title track is great. I actually really like that one. I love Thundercat. It has like the best instrumentation. It has the most and
great
like
bass
Skinny Ape are the only two songs where I'm like, this has like an interesting, unique sound. That radiates like a new Gorillaz style.
And Skinny Ape is a really good track for not having any features too.
Yeah,
like it's a strong song.
That one's cool. Like it's memorable. Like I remember. Like that's the thing about Gorillaz songs is they usually like go a place, so they have like a quirk or a personality to them. And there's not a lot of quirk to this album.
Yeah.
It's very stale. Like I think Oil is pretty good, but I'm like, it's very like this album is so straightforward with its songwriting. Like there's not a lot of interesting like, whoa, that like musical element was really cool, or like, oh, that sound was really neat.
Except for maybe Cracker Island probably because of Thundercat's
Oh yeah,
presence
except for those like that and Skinny Ape, those are only two songs with the exception.
Yeah.
Don't be sad for me. I'm a skinny ape. I'm a cartoon G. And my intent is to bring in a new world. Don't be sad for me.
And I remember I really liked the closer with Beck too, my first time hearing it, but I was kind of
Possession
listening on,
Island.
I listened to it again though, and then again, like I listened to the album like 3 or 4 times through, like since it came out.
Yeah.
Just like really affirm how I felt. I just found myself getting really bored with a few, and then the closer, I was like, I really think the piano is pretty, but a lot of Gorillaz albums lately, well, except for Song Machine, but like even it was like the Now where it's like the final song is like the sad slow song, you know? And this one was like the epitome of that, where, and I remember I thought like for one moment I was like starting to like think it was awesome because like the acoustic comes in, there's like this like mariachi band like trumpet vibe thing that comes in, but when I listened to it on better headphones, and man, that song sounds horrible. Like when the trumpets and like the acoustic come in, it sounds like really bad. Like it sounds very paper thin, like the production. Like it sounds like a really old cheap sample or
Beck
something.
probably produced it.
Like yeah, it's like I don't know how to describe it when those like those trumpets and stuff come in. It's probably fake or MIDI or a sample or something, but
there's nothing worse than MIDI horns.
But something about it just feels very like mixed weird. Like it sounds really bad, like really poorly mixed to me. Which that was a big problem with some songs. Not that the mixing was bad, but like Song Machine was just such an impressively mixed, produced, like texture-rich album. And
yeah, there's a lot going on, but it sounds good.
This album consistently feels like all the instruments meld into one kind of muddy sound, and like I'm not really picking out individual things that are interesting, like songs. Ooh, there's like this little chime or this bell here, or this like
or this
synth
guitar
melody.
part,
like all these melodies happening at the same time, but they're coming in. This one, it's just like everything's kind of doing the same thing, or when it is, it feels like it's mixed weird, or it just felt kind of like a rush job. Someone described it as like like Damon will just, if he writes a song, he will put it out, and this feels like a album radiates like B-side energy to me, or it feels like a sequel to the Now, which is not a very impressive album. I like the Now more, and honestly, I said this to you earlier. As much as disdain as I have for a lot of humans' creative choice, the highs on the album, like Saturn's Bars, Andromeda, Charger, and there's probably like 1 or 2 more that I could think of from it, but the highs on the album have a lot of personality and are at least interesting and have like a certain quirk to them, where I think I like more songs on Humans than Cracker Island.
I don't.
And even though Humans has a lot more songs, therefore a lot more worse songs, so it would probably be more of a slog to listen through all of it. Yeah, I could have more songs from Humans than from Cracker Island, and I would probably like the collection of good songs from Humans more. So when it comes to their mainline albums, if we're excluding The Fall, which I think is fair, I think it's hardly an album, because that's like he made it on his iPad. Yeah, like, he wasn't considering that like a main album, right? Cracker Island is kind of like my least favorite Gorillaz album. I think
I do not agree with you
by a little bit, not by like a huge margin.
Although I am pretty much mid on this album, but maybe a little more than mid. But there's a good chance that I may dislike it more as time goes on.
Maybe this is your Humans.
Maybe, Well, I don't know.
I was like,
You
oh,
still
I
don't
like
humans.
No, I know, but like
Yeah.
the aspect of where I was kind of defending.
I think this is more my now. This is the now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
because I definitely think how I feel about the now is how you feel about this.
But
I don't dislike the now, but I don't like love it. I just think it's harmless.
Yeah,
and I think this is
on
pretty
the show.
harmless too. But there's but the now didn't have like songs I just didn't like. This one has like.
Didn't you not like Trans? You were disappointed in Trans.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That one's kind of. I think it's fine. I just think it's mixed like garbage.
I personally actually liked Trans.
I think the song is fun. It's I just don't like how it's mixed at all. But I think it's a fun song.
I think
I could listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't like how it's mixed. That's my problem with that song. But
I think that my biggest problem with Cracker Island is that as a whole album, it doesn't really go many places. But I think it's more of an album that you just listen to individual tracks from it. Like I can put all these songs on a Gorillaz playlist and put it on shuffle with all my other favorite Gorillaz songs.
Yeah.
And I would still enjoy those songs a lot.
Yeah, same. If I had to make like a favorite Gorillaz songs playlist, I could include a couple from like I would put Cracker Island, Skinny Ape, and I could probably put Silent Running. I do like Silent Running.
Is
I think
good.
the vocal melody. I don't think the instrumentation is anything special, but I love the feel like I've been running.
Yeah.
It's like a fun vocal melody. You know? And it's not very Gorillaz-y, but it is a fun track.
Right.
And I remember that's the thing. I remember the melody from this song.
Feel like I've been silent running through the infinite pages. I scroll out, searching for a new world. Waits on the sunrise. I'm silent running, I've been back to you. I'm silent running.
Yeah.
It sticks with me. So there's 3 songs from it that I could put like on a Gorillaz songs playlist if I made one.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think the biggest problem with this album is that there's not a whole lot of variety in terms of the instrumentation. I wish there was a better emphasis on doing fun stuff like Song Machine did.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to follow up Song Machine because that felt like such a good return to form that was very well received.
Well, I thought that there was going to be a volume 2, you know?
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking is like the reason this radiates now energy is because like the now happens and it felt like this weird like valley, and then Song Machine was
Valley
a
of the
peak, and
Pagans.
this feels like another valley where it's like, all right, we're just gonna make this one real quick, and then maybe Song Machine Volume 2 comes after this.
Yeah.
Like this feels like a weird. This whole album just feels like an interlude, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, which is weird because it's like they did Humans, the Now, and then Song Machine, and then Cracker Island. It's almost like they put out a mainline album and then do like a little spin-off. And I think they're considering this like Phase 6 or like a mainline album.
I don't even know anymore.
But I feel like the Now is considered like a mainline Phase 2. But to describe what my brain is, I was talking about this with you earlier, but I don't want people to think I sound like an insane person. But Gorillaz, like, they always had an emphasis on, like, oh, this is Phase 2, Phase 3. It was, like, their debut, and then Demon Days, and then Plastic Beach was Phase 3, and then, I think Phase 4 was, like, Humans. That was like, oh, Phase 4 is here, guys.
Yeah.
And it was, like, a big event, and the Now didn't feel like Phase 5. Like, Song Machine feels like Phase 5, because that was, like, the big event, and the Now felt like a break in between. And Cracker Island kind of has that, like...
that kind of feeling.
Because even, like, early Gorillaz had, like, The Fall, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it was like, let's just make this random album.
Yeah, it wasn't a phase.
But it's not, like, a big phase, you know?
It was just something that Damon Albarn just kind of farted out.
Yeah.
You know? And that's kind of like what the Now
and the Now
Cracker
is, like,
Island
a higher
kinda feel
effort
like.
version of that, and the Cracker Island feels like kind of just the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, like, Damon, if he consider what albums he considers the main phase, if he considers the Now and Cracker Island to not be like, which I mean they're full length albums. It's weird, but it's such a specific Gorillaz thing, you know, to have like, oh, your main albums and like, oh, these like little side albums that no one really likes.
Yeah,
like they're very kind of inconsistent.
Yeah,
but that's kind of the charm of them. Is like their next album could be like crazy good, you know.
Hopefully,
but yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say it wasn't even disappointing because like I thought the lead single was good and I didn't really feel excited when it was coming out.
And each single that came out just kind of didn't really.
I just remember they tweeted out, they're like, "Hey, here's a new song," and then, like the album came out and it just didn't feel like this build up. And I'm like, maybe it's almost like when you get too many movies, like like too many superhero movies or too many Star Wars movies, you know, it's like, it's almost like we're getting too much Gorillaz now. And I'm like, all right, maybe let's like chill, give Gorillaz a break for a bit.
It's like, I know we were begging for it for years before Humans.
Also, I got to bring up Flimsy Steve. So I don't know if I don't know if you listen to the deluxe songs.
Oh no, I haven't actually.
They suck.
Yeah,
they're not great. I
mean, that's the thing is that most deluxe like bonus tracks of Gorillaz aren't always great.
They're never good. Yeah. That's what's sad. Like even on Song Machine, I was like, these are whatever. You know. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say they suck, but like it was only like 3 songs. But it's sad because they have De La Soul.
Oh,
they brought back Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Yeah.
For a deluxe song. I'm like, you brought back like.
I can't believe I didn't check that out because I saw that.
The guy who was like.
Who made like probably their biggest song ever.
He is like a part of Gorillaz to me. Even though he was really only prevalent on their debut, but I love Del. And they brought him back for like a deluxe song. It's called Captain Chicken. It sounds kind of lazily it's like fine, but it's the epitome of Flimsy Steve, and you don't know what that is. So
I don't.
I have to
Flimsy Steve.
So I gotta Google it. Hang on, Flimsy Steve.
Okay.
Gorillaz. It's like a joke that kind of.
This is my reaction to the Flimsy Steve meme.
So it was just a tweet. It says guest rapper on Gorillaz song. I've been ends since 10, kicking product round the bend. My mom died of tuberculosis. I'm slipping into psychosis. Damon Albarn on the chorus. Oh, Flimsy Steve, where did you go? What have you seen?
Okay.
So it's like,
dude, someone needs to make that. Someone needs to.
Captain Chicken is the epitome of that meme, where it's like Del is like rapping about like, oh, these issues on like, you know, life is hard and like stuff's bad, and then 2D comes in, he's like, oh, Captain Chicken. It's like, what? It's the epitome of like,
I'm gonna sing about something unrelated.
It's the absolute epitome of like stereotypical like Gorillaz.
That writing. Is, yeah, that's like
oh, Flimsy Steve, where did you go? What have you seen?
You can do that with any artist. Like,
you can.
Like I love Mumford and Sons, but I do love like a lot of the memes.
Yeah.
Of, like
it's like, yeah, this
Mumford
is like a loving meme. It's not
whatever.
Like hating on them. It's just like a goof.
Right.
Like Gorillaz fans are like, this is so true.
Yeah, that's basically like if AI wrote a Gorillaz song.
Yeah, Captain Chicken came out and someone was like, this is literally just the Flimsy Steve album or Flimsy Steve meme.
Someone needs to record Flimsy Steve and make it sound like a Gorillaz.
I think
song.
Someone actually did on YouTube.
Of course they did.
But yeah, like that, I was just like, man, they brought back Del and they put him on a deluxe song. Like, what a waste. It's sad, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not even like disappointed though, because this album never radiated as like the big new Gorillaz album to me. So yeah. I mean, maybe Song Machine Volume 2 is like what they're doing next, or maybe they're not doing a Volume 2. But I'd be okay if they took a couple years to like make an album again. You know?
Yeah, just kind of regather themselves.
Yeah, cause it feels like since Humans, we've been getting like a Gorillaz album like every year almost.
Yeah. This is Flimsy Steve by Gorillaz.
It's so good.
This is actually kind of...
It kind of is.
Kind of dope.
It's kind of rocks.
I like the instrumentation.
Yeah.
Anyways,
you might have to mute this if it's copyright, but...
This is the one with I'll probably just like put this on the episode, like edit it in.
Captain Chicken, the master of the cluckers. When I knock on your door, you know it's a customer. Scary as hell, I be hella uncomfortable. I can't comfort you, cause I'm trying to run from you. Always urgent, spooks you could probably call. Dodging is my hobby, y'all. I have several bodyguards. I throw stones breaking through glass houses. Dead broke, never put my money where my mouth is.
Captain Chicken, thanks a lot. You're my baby, you're my car.
Captain Chicken.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't even think it's that. Someone was like, oh, this should be on the main album. Like, no. The instrumentation.
I'll have to take a listen to it.
It's like fine, but if the instrumentation feels unfinished on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't hate the album. I think it's fine. If I were in the business,
closing thoughts.
If I were in the business of giving scores, I'd give it like a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, it's feeling like a strong 6 right now. Depending on how this year goes musically,
I'd probably get a 5, not 6.
it could either be like at the bottom, like of 10.
Yeah.
Depending
if
on
it's
what
a
comes
weak
out,
year, maybe it ends up there somehow.
or it'll just be an honorable mention because I don't hate it.
I don't even think I'd give this an honorable mention.
No. Well,
I like some of the songs.
We dedicated a whole episode to it.
Yeah, but it's like fine. I don't hate it. I've seen some people say I've seen a lot of people say this is like one of their best. It seems really divisive.
You're always going to have those.
It doesn't
people.
radiate divisive energy to me.
Humans
is like that's divisive.
Well, here's the thing: is that like there are probably people out there who love it for the very reasons that we criticize it.
True, exactly.
People who like something more consistent. Which don't get me wrong, there's a lot of albums that I love that just have like one sound for the whole album, and it's like solid. Yes, there you go. But I guess when it comes to Gorillaz, you and I kind of expect for something a little bit more diverse and wacky and crazy.
Yeah.
That's when we think that Gorillaz are at their best.
Yeah, something like this radiates more like Damon Albarn than Gorillaz, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like when I feel like I'm listening to like this quirky, weird cartoon band and not like Damon Albarn.
Yeah.
Like
if this was released as a Damon Albarn album, do you think you would like it more?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I would probably.
I thought I got you
probably be less critical of it. But I'd probably find it more boring, if anything.
Yeah, there's never been really a Damon Albarn solo thing that I've really loved.
Yeah, he writes music.
Blur has some good stuff.
He just refuses to not release anything he's written.
Yeah.
And when he
doesn't
has
have much of a
ideas
filter
that he can't apply to Blur or his solo stuff, then he brought back like the Good, the Bad, and the Queen. And when he had some ideas for Blur, he did Blur. And when he can't use it for Good, the Bad, and the Queen, Gorillaz, or that, he used it for his solo stuff.
Yeah.
And when he has all these like songs he's written for Gorillaz and they don't get it on album, he makes like the Now Now and Cracker Island. It's like, dude, it's okay to not.
If it's music that doesn't fit anywhere, it just defaults back to Gorillaz.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't really know how to just not release a song, and then he puts out like deluxe Gorillaz albums now, and those songs just feel unfinished, and it's just like you don't have to put out everything.
I can't imagine having so many like projects.
Yeah,
which I guess Blur hasn't done anything in 10 years.
Blur is like they did that one album,
Magic Whip,
which that's a good album. I like it a lot.
I actually need to go back and listen to it because I only know like the couple singles that are from it that I really like.
It's really good. Blur remains they have a pretty consistent discography in my opinion. I like Blur a lot.
Yeah,
but Blur is nothing like Gorillaz or his solo stuff. I like that Good, the Bad, and the Queen album a good amount too. I still think it's pretty charming. But yeah, I don't like any of his solo stuff.
Yeah,
it's really boring to me.
Sorry, Damon. We actually do like you.
Yeah, he makes so much music that like a lot of it's bound to just not be that great.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I genuinely think like he just hates not putting out something he's written, even if it's not that great.
Which I feel like he didn't always used to.
No.
Because back in the days of Demon Days and Plastic Beach, it'd be years before we really heard anything from him.
That's why I liked this. Like, Gorillaz to me fits the song machine approach. I think each song should be like heavily conceptualized. And have some kind of theme or story, and like it's just there needs to be this quirk to it. There's a certain quirk to Gorillaz music. That Song Machine captured, that even Humans captured to an extent, even though I don't really like the album. But there is like a feel to it. I'm like, this still feels like Gorillaz. Yeah. It just doesn't feel like good Gorillaz. But it does feel like Gorillaz. Yeah. Especially stuff like Charger. It's like his vocal delivery is very important. As 2D, he needs to like, he plays a character. And I feel like on the Now Now and Cracker Island, he's just,
very one note.
He just feels like Damon on those, you know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel like they're playing characters. Yeah, which that's like a really big.
There's not even any parts where he sings in the megaphone.
True.
It's not a Gorillaz song unless he sings in the megaphone.
Yeah, but now that we just ripped this album a whole new face.
Well, we said it's okay.
It's all right.
We like it. We just have problems with it. I guess.
I just think it's very average, and it rings as very not that special to me. But if someone said they loved it, I wouldn't really. Like I wouldn't be like how or like, explain yourself.
What is wrong with you?
I definitely wouldn't challenge the perspective of someone. I couldn't challenge the perspective of someone liking this because it is so distinct in sound that if one song appeals to you and you love the whole thing and you just love this sound, then like of course it's a great album. But unfortunately the only songs I really liked on this album were the two that didn't really sound like the rest of it, minus the Bad Bunny song. But I don't know, it's fine.
I think it's all right.
I'm just glad I wasn't like super excited for it.
Yeah,
because I would have been disappointed. But it's just like, you know,
maybe there'll be a Song Machine 2.
Yeah,
Volume 2.
I'd be excited for that.
Yeah,
and like I said, even after Humans, you know, I
will say,
excited for whenever they put stuff out.
There was a period where I had lost faith in Gorillaz, and then Song Machine revived that.
Yeah, Humans and Now back to back was kind of rough.
Yeah,
I was like okay with Now, but it was not hype. But yeah, as soon as they put out that first, because I remember when Song Machine they put out the first song. What's it called? The punk rocky song.
Momentary Bliss.
Yeah, I remember they put that out, and you and I were kind of like, do we like this? I don't know.
Yeah.
We were like scared.
It had a very different sound to it, so I was like, I don't know if I like this or not.
I remember I was like really liking it. I was like, I think I love this, but I was like,
I ended up loving it. It's probably my favorite track from that album, honestly. That and Désolé. I love both of those. That
Désolé, The Lost Chord.
Yeah.
Valley of the Pagans. Man, even like Friday the 13th grew on me a lot. Pac-Man is like just an like very Gorillaz. It's such a just Gorillaz sounding song.
I love
even friggin' the Robert Smith song. The opening track. That's so good.
Yeah,
like that album just has so much personality.
Yeah.
The only two I don't really care for the St. Vincent song, and I think the Dead Butterflies song is kind of generic, but
that's okay. Every Gorillaz album has. It's like. Plastic Beach has
even Demon Days has some like songs I don't care for.
Plastic Beach has Sweepstakes.
I will really say the first half of Sweepstakes I'm not crazy for, but when like the drums and the horns come in, that song actually slaps. But it's just the first half is kind of boring.
Yeah.
But that song does get cool at least.
The Pink Phantom on Song Machine.
Pink Phantom, that's really good.
Love that one.
That's the thing. Almost every song on that album, I'm just like, yeah, that was good.
It is really good.
But yeah.
Cool.
The Lost Chord I liked a lot too.
The Lost Chord. I like the music video to it a lot.
The Lost Chord to me is like, that's probably the song that radiates like that could, if you had to take a song from Song Machine, that's the one that kind of could fit with the Cracker Island sound, except it's like better than anything on Cracker Island.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh
well, holding out for another album.
I'm glad the Thundercat feature was like the best song though, because Thundercat's awesome. Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah. It's a really strong song. On Cracker Island, it was born. Yeah. Also, there's some story going on about a cult. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't care about Gorillaz lore right now.
Yeah. It was different.
I don't know if I ever will again. I don't know. I just feel like
I feel like it kind of like had its peak with like Murdoch having Noodle kidnapped, you know, and all that. Like, that was interesting.
I just don't think they're interested in like actually doing much, because now the story of the band, from what I see, it's just like, oh, they're just like making music. Because Song Machine was just like, oh, they're in the studio.
Well, it kind of seemed like something was going on during Song Machine. Like, apparently Murdoch like drugged 2D at some point, and then he's like getting sent to the hospital. But then nothing happens after that, really.
Yeah, I was just like, what?
They just get mad at Murdoch.
That was like where, like, even though I love Song Machine, I'm like, that was the point where I was like, I don't think I care about like story.
Yeah,
I don't think they're trying with story anymore.
No, yeah, it's
like Cracker Island. Like, it starts an interesting thing with the first song. It's like, oh, Cracker Island, interesting, and then like the closer kind of has it. It's like it doesn't really have anything going on.
I think it's probably
they're just songs.
They're songs
where it's like Demon Days. It's like, oh, this song is 2D being sad because he thinks Noodle died or something.
Yeah,
like, you can kind of do stuff with like.
And
the
then
songs
Plastic Beach is like, oh yeah, Murdoch produced this whole thing because
Yeah.
Russ and Noodle are off floating in the ocean.
Yeah, and
they apparently weren't even a part of the album.
And every album has like this theme to it, and it all connects, and it all feels relevant to each other.
And then what's crazy is that they like conclude that whole story with a song that's like you can't even really buy anymore with Do Your Thing. You remember in the music video, this just like they're all back home finally. And it's like they decided to end the story with that song, with that, which I think is interesting, you know, and then you see like Russ, he's all giant outside of the house.
Yeah, true.
And 2D's like, oh, we're all back together and everything's okay now. So I feel like everything kind of came to a close at that point.
Yeah.
And not much has happened since then, really. So, yeah, I don't know. I still have a crush on Noodle, though.
Nice.
She's my girl.
Noodle is a cool one.
Yeah.
Till the end. Things they don't exist, and we're all in this together till the end. Till the
end.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
I need to get out of here.
So this is okay, sure.
Hurry!
Who's got the recommendation for this time?
It's probably me. What am I gonna recommend here? Let's see.
Cracker Island.
Yeah, my favorite. Let's recommend a video game that I played. Whatever.
Okay.
I'll shout it out because I want it to sell well because we love Metroid. But Metroid Prime Remastered. Metroid Prime is my second favorite game ever made, and they remade it, or remastered, I guess, for Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. It's the best game ever. It's only $40, not full price. If you have a Switch,
I don't.
It's one of the best games ever made, and I adore it with all my heart and soul. And I replayed it twice, and it's so good.
Wow.
So yeah, Metroid Prime Remastered. It's $40 if you are interested.
Wow, sounds like
I guess
you're
it's
really
fitting
excited about it.
I talked about video games at the beginning of episodes. I'm like, sure, I'll recommend a video game. I guess so.
This is your second time recommending a Metroid game, actually.
Yeah, because I recommended Dread last time.
Yeah,
because I was like, I want to. Yeah,
because
I want Metroid to sell well, and that sold well, and they put Fusion on their service. You have like all the Metroid games on Switch now. It's like they like Metroid again. It's cool.
Yeah.
So Metroid, I'm a Metroid dweeb. It's like my favorite series ever.
Like Metroid.
And they remastered the best game of all time and put it on Switch, and it looks amazing. So
good.
Yep, play that if you got a Switch.
Cool. Well, thanks, Mitchell, for that recommendation.
Goodbye.
And thank you, listener. No, you're not leaving yet.
Thank you, listener.
Thank you, listener, for listening to this shorter episode. To be fair, you're going to get like 2 consecutive episodes pretty close together with our lost episode and this one. And then we're just going to make up for it by giving you a 6-hour episode talking about our favorite movies of all time with our next episode. Not sure if anyone noticed, but our top 10 films of 2022 is officially our longest episode yet. It beat our Batman episode. We did
nice.
it. Yeah.
You did it.
So, yeah, we just like to talk a lot. And I expect this next episode to be long because the last time we did this, we had to do it in 2 parts. And we don't even do 2-parters anymore. We just kind of do 1 episode. Anyways, Mitchell has to get out of here. So we'll see you guys when we see you. And don't do drugs and smell your hair.
Don't do drugs, smell your hair. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, God. All right.
God.
Bye.
You're really cool.
You're cool. You're a real cool dude. Wow. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Podwood Forecast. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe. And if you'd like for us to give you a shout out on the show, be sure to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And also feel free to look in the show notes for links to our social media at Twitter and Facebook. And as always, stay beautiful, and thanks for listening.
Good cracker. Good cracker.